see how we do this time. Let's send a link there. All right, cool. So I figured out what was wrong with my rocket.toml. It wasn't applying that port or address correctly. I changed those to global instead of development. I'm not sure what my... Okay, debug. So if I call this debug, it should still work. Yes. But if I call this prod, then it doesn't. Okay, cool. Cool. So, if you need to change your port, address, things like that, it's going to be this rocket.toml file in the root of your project. And this one is good. We didn't have to do anything there. So, let's see if we can get back to doing what we were doing. So what we had yesterday was this view coming back, sending us just plain text, not HTML. And the next thing we need to do is the admin, and there's not an admin. So we're not going to bother with the admin for Rocket. It just doesn't exist as far as like a single thing to install that I know of. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to build the rest of the admin though, or not admin, sorry, the rest of the application so that you can create a poll and you can vote in a poll and all of that. We just won't have the admin to do it in. So I think we can even skip to the third part. Yeah, sweet. So here we go on the views. So we can add some views that do like detail fetches. So right now we've got this get polls. So let's add another one. And I'll add it down here. And we're going to get polls and then an ID. And then we're going to have to change our query. What does our query need to be? Our query needs to be that filter, and then a limit of 1, and then can I stack filters? Let's find out. And this is going to say question, because it's just going to be one question. And then we'll push string with that. This shouldn't be called results, it should be called result, because there's only one result. And we'll send back a 200 OK. Alright, so let's see, this is complaining. Unused parameter, oh yes. I need to do ID here, and that's going to be an I32. Expect argument type I32. The name index is defined multiple. Oh, okay, yeah. Wait, hold on. Let's change a couple things here. This should be detail. And sorry, just trying to read what chat says here. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Nova, for doing the I make a lot of mistakes. Oh, looks like Nova C is back here as well. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what I'm doing wrong here. ID, introduce a new binding instead. Expected I32, found ID. Selected due to the unit struct defined here. Okay. So just say ID? No. Well, let's go look. If I go over here and I look at requests and I look at dynamic paths and okay, I'm going to get something like that. So I could say it's a U8. For example, but calling it ID isn't a good thing to do. Okay, I think it doesn't like us using the word ID. So if I look at my schema, I called it ID, didn't I? Yep, I called it ID. Okay, well, let's call it here. Let's say this is question ID. And this is question ID. And then, where did I do that equals to? There it is. Question ID. All right, hey, look at that. Red moved. Okay, so it looks like it doesn't want me doing multiple filters like that. So can I pass multiple things to filter? How about that? No, you don't like that. Is it an and kind of situation? Or no, it'd be that, right? Okay, so how in Diesel do I search for multiple multiple conditions? Get post, find post ID, post ID equals args, inth1. Okay, but that's args coming in from somewhere else. Okay, so so maybe I do this filter like this. Sorry, like that. Let's just put this back up on one line. So I do my filter like that, and then I do dot select, no, dot find question ID. Why don't we just go ahead and make this an I32? If that's what it's supposed to be. What is it that I need to do here? Required by a bound there. Okay. Okay. Questions. Dot select. I just want the question text. Okay, well, you know what we can do next? We can do what I always do, which is to Google. Diesel multiple filter. Oh, geez. How to implement nested filters in Diesel. Okay. Necessary cookies only. You keep forgetting that. Okay, so query equals filter that. Or filter that. Okay, so it looks like I should be able to do multiple filters. So I should be able to then do filter ID is equal to question ID, right? IQ or EQ none will never match. Use is null instead. You can use is. Ah, here we go. Here we go. I think that's what I want. Something like that. But I don't want none, I want question ID. Yeah? I think I'm doing that wrong, but we're gonna keep trying here. Expected an enum of string found columns that the return type to this call is that due to the type of the arguments passed. Okay. How do we do a detail view? There's got to be a detail view. Okay. Diesel rocket detail endpoint. building APIs with Rust and Rocket. That's what we're trying to do, sort of. Only I want to actually return not tutorials, templates. That's the word. I don't care about this part. I don't think. We can come back to that stuff. We can come back to that. I want that. No, but I don't want put, I want get. Okay. But that should still work the same way, right? That should totally work the same way. ID, question ID is I32. There's no data because it's a get. Mismatch types, question of the unit struct, not a new binding. Because question ID shows up on that other thing? Poll ID. How about that? Okay, so that stopped complaining. And then poll ID. Okay, that's still unhappy. So it wanted an option string and instead found an I32. Some format. That feels... Oh, that feels gross. Oh, that feels so gross. Okay, it's not yelling at me though. So let's see. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Connection. It's not a string? What are you complaining about here? Connection didn't change at all. Okay. But then, yeah, I don't have result because result's an error here. So, what do I fix here? I should probably keep my hand away from my mouth so y'all can hear me. Where clause? You know what? I don't know what I'm doing. So let's let's keep looking for any information that we can get here. Okay, we didn't get a lot of information there, but we can see that what we're doing isn't crazy. We're doing something that makes sense. I feel like we're doing Diesel in a weird way, though. Anybody else kind of feel like we're doing Diesel in a wrong way? So, like, show posts, this is what I copied before, and this makes sense. That's what's up here, right? Like, let's comment that out. This is what's up here. This is. Filter, we did a publish dates less than today. We did a limit of 5. Now I didn't do question as select. So let's see what that does. And then that makes connection fail again. Select by single value is not satisfied. Uh-huh. What am I doing different from what you're doing? I have to be doing something different. I don't know what that something different is, but I have to be doing something different. I have that you're queryable and selectable. Yeah. Okay. Table name is questions. Yeah. Backend, Diesel SQLite. Yeah. Question. What do we make this not an option? Expected field declaration. Okay, but you have here I-32. And if we look at schemas.rs, so that's nullable. So where's one that I can edit that makes it not nullable? See, that's not nullable, right? That's a primary key. Or at least it shouldn't be nullable. I would think it's not nullable. Schema.rs, I didn't make. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Let's just see what happens. Oh wait, that's choices. No, I need to do it there too. And I don't think this should be nullable either. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Something died. Something's unhappy over here. Okay. Well, let's put things back then. And see if that makes things happy again. Does that restart? Things work? Things still don't work, but that's probably because I broke this thing. Schema questions. Schema, it has to be this one, right? It has to be this one here. So I don't want this nullable. I want this to just be an integer. Okay. So you're dying, but you're still dying the same way. But this now says I-32. Ha ha. Okay. Cool. So I still don't know what I'm doing. Select question as select. You most definitely did that. Right? Yeah, okay. Make sure to define the fields in the order. Okay, selectable in combination with selectable helper as select ensures that the field order always matches. Check for backend attribute provides a further check that all field types match what your query is returning. Improve the error messages. Okay, that makes sense. So then, did I do this use schema? I did not. Let's try doing that up here. Use self schema. Pop, pop. Questions DSL star. So maybe instead of self, this should be crate. Okay. And now it says that it's not using anything. But nothing else is complaining. Okay, questions. Filter. Let's put the select back to being a single thing. Which that was, what, question text? Yeah, and then connection is happy. So what is it that connection is looking for? Well, maybe it's because of this string. still happy? We're still happy. We're still launched. Okay. So then we get a 500 error. Why did we get a 500 error? Handler index panicked. It's an application bug. A panic in Rust must be treated as an exceptional panic. Okay. Well, I'm sorry there was a panic, but where was the panic? Oh, I see. We had an invalid date time. How is that an invalid date time? Oh, should it be naive date? Is that a naive date time? Okay. Hoping Diesel is the framework for Rust, but yeah, I'm not totally getting the rules of Diesel. Yeah, I have to figure out how to use Diesel, and I have to figure out how to use Rocket at the same time, Nova. So, you're going to see a lot of me going back and forth. I've used a couple of other ORM kind of things in Rust before. I've used, what did I use? I used SQLX, which is kind of cool. SQLX isn't bad, but you write a whole lot of queries yourself, which isn't a terrible thing. I just want to try and write queries through an ORM because that's what I'm used to doing, given Django's my history with Django. And also, I just want to try and use these in a different way. I've also used CORM, which CORM is interesting. I liked it quite a bit, but it wasn't, I don't know. I didn't love it enough to stick with it for this, and I kind of just wanted to try something new. I also used Prisma. Yes, the Prisma client. I was not happy with Prisma. I didn't really like Prisma. It's not bad, and the experience using it isn't bad, but it just wasn't one for me. Not that so far, not that so far Diesel's proving to be the one for me either. There we go. Okay. So, this still gets us a 500, yes. Well, because we currently can't compile, that's right. So we put that as naive date, and it's complaining about that, and I think it's because this here should be date. Still unhappy. But not here. Not for that. Okay. It's unhappy for something else. Does it need to be naive date time? Well, now that's unhappy. So then if I make this date time, you don't know what that is. Chrono date time. But I don't want date time, I want naive date time. Can I tell you to be naive date time? Consider importing chrono naive date time. I have a feeling this is not the direction I should go. You know what? Let's try Gemini. Because I've been using AI lately for testing out a lot of my Rust stuff, and it has helped some. What field type should I use in Diesel and SQLite for a naive date? That's a lot of questions for it to figure out. Okay. So they're doing, this would be what? This would be like in here, right? Yeah. queryable, selectable, debug. They have insertable, which I suppose we'll do later when I want to be able to insert them via like an API. Okay. Table name is blah, blah, blah. And then they're not doing that. Oops. They're not using that. They're using this other one. And then SQL types date. Use Diesel SQL types date. Okay. And then this is just marked as naive date. Uh-huh. But you can't find that in the scope. Interesting. For handling naive dates in Diesel and SQLite, you should use the date type from the Diesel SQL types module. This type provides necessary conversions between Rust chrono naive date and SQLite's date representation. So then this is just date. And this is still, I don't know what the heck a naive date is. What comes out of Diesel Prelude? Docs.rs/Diesel? Haha. Get way too excited about some of these things. Prelude. Just a bunch of re-exports. What all do you reveal here? Type aliases. Yeah, you don't bring in any sort of date time kind of thing that I can see. So, okay, so if I want, what would that be? Would that be a struct? Oh wait, not here. Modules, SQL types. What's in here? No naive date, but we have a date. Okay, we have date, just a date SQL type. Okay, so with feature chrono, we have that one. Okay, so then do I import the naive date and we're good? Okay, that part's happy. Are you still happy? You're still happy. Okay, so now why is this unhappy? I can't do... Okay, let's see, I'm gonna take off the filter. We're just gonna see all the polls. Any polls that got released, we're gonna see all the polls. I just wanna see if this is working. Look at that, it works. Okay, so now I can figure out, let's see if we can figure out this one now to get an individual poll. And then I'll commit stuff if I need to. Okay, we're gonna ditch that problem. And options string. I don't want any of that. I want dot filter ID is equal to poll ID. That's all I want. Just want that. Okay. And then string does implement display. Okay. Let's just do that then. I don't know. We'll find out what happens. Everything looks happy. So let's go to polls 1. 404 not found. Oh, right. Because I have to come over here and tell it that use polls detail. I'm gonna find a better way to do this, but that can come later. Look at that. We got our single question. And if we go to 2, do we get a different question? We do get a different question. All right. So let's go ahead and commit these pieces. Not our database. We'll have that to our git ignore in a sec. List and detail views endpoints work. We won't call them views just yet. They're not star.db. They're not views really. Nope. Star.sqli3. I promise I can type, y'all. I swear I can type. Okay. Ignore database file. Commit. Sync. Okay. So, excuse me. Nose is itchy. Let's see what else that we can do. The first thing we can do that's new is let's see by getting templates. I'm gonna kind of ignore the tutorial for right now, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to do individual pieces, and then we'll just make it match the tutorial by the end. I think that's a good plan. Okay, so let's start getting a template. Now I have done templates in Rocket before, but it has been a minute. So let's go look at how to do responses. And I remember we have to have a template fairing that we attach. Is that in here somewhere? It is. There it is. Okay, so let's go do that first. So inside here, we're going to do use Rocketdyne templates template. And we're going to attach the template fairing. Now, if I remember correctly, we have to install the templates. Yes. So we need to cargo add Rocketdyne templates. CD polls. Same thing. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to add feature Terra because I like features Terra. Again, I promise I can type. I like Terra as a templating engine. It looks and reads and feels a whole lot like Django, which makes sense because it's based on Jinja 2. So if you're familiar and comfortable with Jinja 2, then you're going to be absolutely fine with Terra. Terra is not bad at all. Okay, so let this expand these macros real quick here. What are we complaining about? Interesting. Okay, cool. Now we're good. You never know. You never, ever know. I don't think I need this. I don't think I need that. And I don't think I need that. Which means I don't need that. And I guess I don't need that because it's saying that it's not being used. Everything else seems good here. Invalid directory template. We have to make our templates directory. That's true. So if I remember correctly, it goes here next to our source directory. So templates. Yeah, now it's happy. Okay. So in our polls view, I was going to do something up here. What was I doing? I was going to import the templates. use rocket dyn template. If there's supposed to be like a sort order to Rust includes use statements, I don't know what that order is. So yeah, tell me if I'm getting it wrong. I try to do like standard, third party, and then local, right? Like I would do in Python. So I try to just do the same thing there. Okay, so here's our, I want to rename this. I want to rename this to list, which means I got to come back over here and I got to rename this to list. We're going to call that polls list because we're cool people like that. And then we're going to get back over here. Okay, so index here is going to return a template with all caps there. We get our connection, we get our results, we do that. Now we're going to have to do this differently. So let's just start here. And then we're going to do template render polls list, and then we want context, and we're just going to say results of results. And then I think we can get rid of this, so we'll comment that out for now. You tell me you don't have context? Okay. Context, that's what it's called. Did I not make those serializable? I did not make those serializable. Look at that. Use Serday serialize. Let's mark you as serialize. Alright, that makes results happy. So now, polls list. Inside of our templates directory, we need a new folder called polls. Inside of our polls, we need a new file called list.html.terra. It looks for the template engine name on the into the file name, and that's how it knows like what to do. So let's see if we have an example of a template here. We don't. Okay. We're gonna figure it out. Let's start off with what we would do in Django, which would just be a for loop, right? So for, what did we call those? Results. Result and results. Let's do an li, and let's just say result. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We need to use Rocket's Serday, not the built-in Serday. Rocket dyn template Serday. Templates. I can spell. How is that unused? I'm using it right here. Can't find create for Serday. Do I not have Serday added? I didn't. Okay. this again. Trait serialize is not implemented for naive date. Okay, so should this just be date? And I bring this back? Need to provide a type that explicitly derives queryable by name. Okay, I'm gonna change this. Am I? Am I gonna change this? I want to change this to be published instead of a published date. I'm trying to mimic the tutorial as much as possible, but like, if I can't serialize, okay, well, let's find out. How do we serialize? How do I serialize a chrono naive date with Serday? Or Serdair, apparently, is what I'm going to type. Chrono naive Serday. This module provides access. Okay. How do I get that to work? It doesn't have to be JSON though. I just need it to be use chrono naive. Okay, so I guess instead of this Serday, I would use chrono naive Serday, and then what? Just that? Okay, so I need to install chrono with the Serday feature. Cargo add chrono features Serday. Are there any other features here that I think I'm gonna want? No. Okay. Okay, and then what's in here that I can use? It's just these items? So then that? I don't get that. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe I just need... Maybe it's that. And then it's that. And that. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like that did it. Okay, so because I had Chrono with the Serday feature installed. Okay. It looks like that worked. It looks like that worked. Okay. I want just polls. Object, 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 but that's HTML. That's not just plain text. We don't need you anymore. Okay, so we have our template rendering. That's great. So question.asSelect, so our result is a thing. So if we do question text, we should get our questions. That's amazing. Look at that. We totally got like, I mean, like that's the entire tutorial, right? No, it's not. Okay. Okay. dot list template working. Okie doke. Sweet. Let's go ahead and do the same thing to the detail view. So if you haven't done what we're doing here before, let me try and explain what I'm doing. And let me change this over to result. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I am making a connection to that. Well, okay, first of all, we have this view. I'm going to call it a view. You can call it a controller if you want. I'm going to call it a view. That looks for slash polls and looks for a poll ID. And we've said right here that this poll ID is going to be an integer of 32 bits. And we said that we're going to return a template. Inside of there, we establish a connection to our database. We select our question text, where the ID is equal to blah, blah, blah. Our limit's 1. Oh yeah, let's fix this. And this should be question as select. And that way we get the whole object back and not just the text. Okay. So then let's go make our new template. And we'll call this one detail.html.tera. And the reason we're calling it detail is because we said right here it's going to be called polls detail. And our template engine just goes looking for anything that has the name detail and then tries to figure out what's going on after that. So let's do, let's say an H1 of the question.text, or question, nope, not question, result.question text. And then we'll do a P, and we'll do result dot. What else do we have on our result? Pub date? Let's show the pub date. Alright, and now if I go to polls/1, I get an internal server error. The name serialized is defined multiple times. Is it? I just see it here. I don't see those two being used. Polls, poll ID. Questions, question is select. Okay. I'm going to relaunch this just in case. Yeah, maybe something got screwed up in the middle there. Nope. Polls detail result.question text not found in context while rendering that. Okay. Well. What if we just render result? Let's start with that. Object. Okay. Does it have an ID? It does not. Oh, it looked like it might be a list. Okay, so instead of that, I think I want first. No. Method takes one argument, but 0 were supplied. Provide the argument. Oh, is it need the connection? Haha. Okay. So I guess the dot load is kind of like a dot all, and the dot first gets me the first item. Okay. Now we need to add back in the filter. Although wait, first, let's go over here. Let's get back to there. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Now we know. And this was asked on that date. Sweet. So now, I think I have both of those looking like I want them to. For now, we'll fix that in a minute. But I want to add back in my filter, where the pub date is less than local : today now naive date. Did I remove my import for local? I did. One of these days I'll learn that I should just leave my imports alone. Local now, if I do this as today, use local now instead, right. Use local now. Naive. Number thing I found naive. I don't think that's what I want. Yeah, that's not what I want. I want local.now dot naive local? Maybe I want naive local. That didn't change anything. Okay, do you have anything better over here for me? You don't. You're no help at all. Expected not specialized found ANSI SQL select statement. But I don't need ANSI. Okay, I'm just gonna not worry about the filters for now. Like I said, maybe I'll do published or instead. Let's see, let's commit what we've got. Bold detail view works. Don't make fun of my commit messages. I know they suck. I will do better commit messages someday, at some point, you know, if I want to. Okay, so let's, I think we for once don't need that local, but I'm going to leave it just for now because I keep having to import it and I'm tired of that. I am pretty certain I don't need that one though. Okie doke. Now I want to do what? I want to see if I can migrate that table. Okay, so how do I do that? How do I migrate stuff? Well, let's see. If we look back at our past, at where we've done Diesel. So Diesel migrate, generate create questions. So let's do this as pub date to published. Okay. And so now, if we come look over here in our migrations, we should have a new migration and we should have an up. Aha. Okay. So now we reach this problem, which is that I don't know how to write SQL. So, what's the SQL required to alter a field from date? Let's see what it is. From date, yep. I'm just going to close all these and I will reopen them later. Panic at the disk. Oh, yeah, so much panic. From date to Boolean. Well, I mean, obviously I can't directly do it, but okay. So let's just do that then. Let's just alter the table. alter table polls question. Rename pub date to published. Yeah, that's the thing I want to do. I'll rename that column from pub date to published, and then alter. No, let's not do that. Let's add column. Published. And we're going to say that that's a Boolean. Alright, so we're going to add a column, name published, and then we're going to alter table polls question, and we're going to drop column pub date. Okay. What's the worst thing that happens? We lose a bit of data. Okay, so then if I look back in here and it's diesel migration run. Failed to run migrations. Oh no. Failed to execute query. Message tables polls question. Is it just question? Let me look at my other migrations. Questions. Yes. Okay. I named those a little differently, didn't I? Run the migration. Ran the migration. Sweet. Polls. Trait limit DSL is not implemented. Now, why was this working a moment ago and now it isn't? Oh, because we called this public and it's published. And it is a Boolean? Did I just say bool? And then I would come over here. Published nullable bool. It's not nullable. It's just a bool. This isn't nullable. Don't know why you think it is. Now those are happy. Okay, I need to figure out why those are doing that. But that can wait for later. Okay. If I, let's see, what was it? SQLite 3? DB SQLite dot tables dot schema questions. I'm amazed at how much I'm remembering about SQLite for not having used it hardly at all. Okay, so there's our questions table. It has an ID, it has a question text, and it has a Boolean for published. Sweet. That's everything we want. So, I should probably define the down. I should be a good citizen and define the down. And it's basically the opposite of this. So, I want to do add column, and that's going to be date, and drop column. We don't need a type. So I should basically undo the work. I'm not going to worry about doing and undoing the work so much because I don't really care that much about it. I wish I could see your latest chat message, but my thing here is being weird. Oh, you're giggling. Yeah. Yeah. You know, things happen. Okay, so we got the up, we got the down. We got templates. Let's see, let's add these two. Actually, let's add all of this. And we'll just say, changed update to publish Boolean. Sync those changes. All right, and then sitting here thinking they should be all unpublished, right? Yeah. Okay, so if we do .filter published equals true, then I kind of feel like on my list page here, I'm going to get none. And I did. Sweet. And then let's put that down here as well. So it has to be published, and it has to have the ID equal the same. So 500 error. Why did we get a 500? Is it because handler detail panicked? Why did handler detail panic? Loading questions not found. Oh, because there were no questions found. Uh-huh. Oh, yes, there we go. There's our error loading questions and error loading questions. Okay, so that should give a 404. If we look over here at rocket responders, we look at status. What if I need to send back an error in the template? Okay, well, we'll come back to that, I guess. In the meantime, I want to be able to mark one of these as published. That's it. So we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna do update. Yes? No. Update questions dot published set true where questions dot ID equals 1. Back to Gemini. How do I set a field as true in SQLite? Update questions set publish equal 1 where ID equal 1. Aha. All right. Thanks, Gemini. Let's see. Let's go back over here to polls. All right, and that shows us 1. That shows us the how much wood woodchuck could chuck wood. Let's open up our list again, and let's put in right here result.id. Okay, and that's number 1. Okay, so if I go to polls 1, I get a 500. Why do I get a 500 for polls 1? No, still a 500. Still. Oh, haha, because my template is wrong. This is honestly one of the, nicer things that I wish Django did, and I'm pretty sure you can configure Django to do it, but I wish by default Django just went, hey, your templates are wrong, you should go fix your templates. It's really kind of annoying that they don't do that. Alright, I'm gonna go another maybe 10 minutes. What should we do in those 10 minutes? Let's see if we can get links working between these things. Let's see if we can figure out how to do URIs. Type URIs. Okay, that's those. How do I do it in a template? Maybe I should be looking at Teradocs. Terra. Copy that, and then I'll hop back over to here. Okay, I don't want macros. I want built-in functions. Nope. Built-in filters. No. Terra basics. There's our basics. We already understand those. Data structures, we understand that. Functions. Functions are Rust code that return a result value from their given params. Quite often functions will need to capture some external variable, such as a URL for a global function needing the list of URLs, for example. Here's an example of that implement a very basic function. Then you add it to Terra. Now you can call it from a template, URL for name equals home. Also implement the trait directly. For more complex requirements, currently functions can be called in two places, and then we have the built-in ones of range, now, throw, get random, and get env. Okay. So it sounds like I would need to write a function like this to do the URLs. Or I could do a href equals polls and say back to polls. Alright. Boop. And then on my list page, for each one of these, I can put them in an A tag. You know what? Let's that should probably be a UL. Okay, we'll show the result ID, and then inside here, we'll do href equals polls slash result.id. And then inside here is result.question text. And then that. Refresh. Click the link, back to polls. Look at that. All of that works. Are the polls endpoints complete? They are not, Nova. We have 2 of them done. We have the list view and we have the detail view. I think the next time I come and work on this is when I will do the create and or update views. Or we will do the voting views where we can show all the votes. Because right now I don't actually know how to find all the votes. So I'd have to look up all the vote pieces. But that's been about an hour. I wanted to go about an hour, so I'm going to call it quits here. But thanks everybody for watching. Oh wait, before I do that, let's go ahead and commit our stuff here. Links. And as before, that is all on the web, on GitHub at github.com/KennethLove/RocketPolls. So, if you want to follow along, or you want to code ahead of me, or you want to just laugh at my code by opening issues, feel free, go right ahead. But other than that, I am going to call it a day. And I will see all of you lovely folks next time. Thanks a lot.